Alright guys, just before we start this video, which is pretty exciting, a few months ago I asked people what we should change our name to for our channel. We were a travel channel when we first started, but as you see we no longer are travelling much. We still will do some travel videos when we go away, but we're now off grid. So I'm going to change the channel name now. We had some good suggestions, but I thought I'd keep it with the... That was an interesting bird. I thought I'd keep it with as close to what we are now. So instead of travel is sweet, we're going to be off-grid is sweet. So if you see the name change or you see off-grid is sweet, it's just changed from travel is sweet. So we hope to keep all you guys that have subscribed, and those that haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to subscribe, because we're going to get a whole heap of different content. As you can see, we've got milling going on in the background. We've actually got the old paddock basher up and running, which we'll go through later on, but for the time being, keep an eye open. So if you now see off-grid is sweet rather than travel is sweet, you'll know who we are. It'll change this week sometime. All right, let's jump into the video. This one is mainly with Carolyn. All right, talk to you later, guys. Well, good morning all. Today's a new day, and as Sheldon would say, you're in for an Italian treat, except there's no Italian in it, it's just a treat.
Oh, you're in for what my mother calls a real Italian treat.
So what we're going to do today is, you know that we're living in our bus at the moment, so we're all off grid, and Carolyn does all the cooking on everything is electricity from the bus. Today she's going to make some yum treats that she's been making for a while now, and we're going to show you how she does it. Let me just spin you around. No, we're not going to spin you around. Yes, we will. Carolyn can tell us what she's going to make today.
I'm making Naggy. I don't know if you've heard of her, but anybody who's probably cooked will have heard of her. She makes magic moist apple muffins. That's the recipe I'm using, but I've just changed a little bit because we like banana and white chocolate. So it's going to be banana and white chocolate muffins today. So I've got to have 115 grams of melted butter. So I use a microwave and take out my little starter, because that's going to be made into probably ciabatta rolls. And it's a little heat pack because it's very cold. So I'll put him in the shade because he doesn't want direct sun. Put the butter in. It's not quite melted. I'll just give it a bit of a swirl, but I think it needs maybe another 10 seconds. Or if I keep swirling it, saves electricity if I don't have to put it on. So I'm just going to actually leave it over here and put the starter back in, keep him warm as he keeps rising.
It's going to be yummy bread. Yum, yum, yum.
Alright. Now, I do have to follow directions, so place butter and brown sugar in a bowl and whisk.
We're whisking. We're going to be whisking.
I'll get out my whisk. Remove my scales. And, you know, we work with what we got here, which is not a lot of room, but we'll make it work. And that's it for that, the last of the buttering. Alright, then we've got milk, and we have 165 ml of milk. For baking, use Audi milk. Alright, put some milk in there. egg, and then the vinegar. And the eggshell and the banana peel go into the compost a bit later. And we've got 1 teaspoon of vinegar, if I remember rightly. Yes. Let's get out my... Love these. Magnetic. That means they stay together. Love them.
They were on Amazon or eBay?
Amazon. Only ever shop at Amazon. Online. So 1 teaspoon. I'll do it over here because I don't want to have an accident and get it into the mix. Oh, see? That little bit extra would have been in there and I don't want that. Like that. And I'll try and put things away as I go because as you can see there's not a lot of room. Give that a nice whisk. Now I'm going to move this over here. I can start with getting the dry ingredients ready. And 2 cups of plain flour.
And I'll get the link for the recipe, and I'll put it in the description below for you. As you can see, Carolyn's got it on her phone over here.
Alright, I'm going to get my other cup scoop, which is under here. So, you know, this is reality. This is where, whoops, my bread flour is kept with my potatoes. And they take
So you've never seen potatoes called a Zito chainsaw sharpener. There you go. That's the new type of potatoes that we've got.
Alright, so I want 2 cups or 300 grams of plain flour. I usually do everything by weight because that's what I do with sourdough bread, so it's now a fairly standard way of doing it. Weigh my cup back into my bread flour.
Now a little spacious chair, storage. Whoever made that was brilliant. I must admit, he must have a very smart brain.
Oh my goodness.
There goes the Zito potatoes.
The other thing I like about these, see the 2 separate sides, so I just did the wet side on that side. Still dry it off because I don't want it getting into anything. I normally use the scooper in there, but use the wrong side, but that's okay. 1 teaspoon. The baking powder. And this was a good find at Kmart. Cheap. It's in the laundry section. I love it. And up here is my cinnamon. I don't mind if there's extra, so I'll just do it like this. Don't worry about the... Would have been good if I did the right side, but never mind. Just work with what you got. And a pinch of salt. I've got cooking salt in here. Just a pinch. Alright, now I just got to give this a little bit of a stir. Not too much, apparently. It's supposed to be about 10. But at least want the ingredients to mix together. And I've made it a number of times, so I'm good with whatever I'm doing. Alright. And now we need our butter. Okay, banana. I'll mash it up a little bit. It goes in.
And the best ingredient, bananas are good, but the white chocolate, yummo.
These are the melting ones. So I put those into... And this was just something I thought of. So I just put in whatever I think, to be honest, or whatever I've got. And then I've got these ones. And these are the ones that don't melt, which I like to have a couple of chunks in there. In fact, you know what, we'll just use them all out of both because it's not going to be enough for anything else. And then I put most of those in as well. And then I put the rest that are going to go on top. What are you doing? Get off!
Nobody saw that.
Yeah, well, you're not normally in here when I bake, so you can't normally do that. Just give it a bit last mix. Now, I'll let that sit while I do I actually normally do this first, but having a camera on you makes everything different. Get what you're doing, really. Oh, and I got to put the oven on. So now I don't do this straight away because this oven actually doesn't take very long to heat up. Make sure there's nothing else in there. Okay, that'll start.
Let's just have a look at the power. So we're usually using around about 200 watt mark. So it's kicked up about 1300. Yeah, that's a bit better. We're getting 660 watts of solar come in. And remember, it's still winter, so the sun's not beating down like it normally does in summer. And we've got 69% charge, so it's going, well, it's discharging at the moment, but hopefully it'll be back up around 80-90% this afternoon. So Carolyn's just greasing the muffin tin.
My towel, here it is. Alright, now they say use a ice cream scoop to scoop it. Now, you don't have to. Sometimes I don't bother, but I'll just show you what they say to do. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky with the room. I'm going to do a bit side on. Get all that mixture in there. This, as you can see, this is a really easy recipe, and honestly it's never failed. And I've made it all different types of ways with different ingredients. It's really whatever I've got on hand if I'm organised. Then I have banana and white chocolate bits. If I'm not organised, I might have a tin of apricots, peaches. The original recipe was with apple, which that was lovely as well. This one's my favourite, but I actually want to try it with dried apricot.
Mine too. I like this one. This is the best because I like bananas and I like white chocolate. Now here you go. I'm doing a video of slow-mo while I'm videoing the slow-mo. This is what you have to do when you're a YouTuber. Easier said than done sometimes. Yummo. Looks good.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get some dried apricots and I'm going to give it a try with dried apricots. My mum said that she reckoned it'd be good, and I think it would be good too.
Carolyn likes apricots, so we had one with peaches the other day.
And we had apricots.
Oh, we did,
week.
yeah, we had apricots.
They just weren't dried apricots.
They were nice too.
Yeah, they were good. Which made me think dried, and Mum mentioned dried, and I went, yep, that sounds good to me.
I myself preferred the peaches one over the apricots, but the apricot ones were nice. But the banana ones are the best, because I like bananas the best.
Yeah, Andrew's not a big fruit eater.
I like my fruit when it's covered in
sugar.
Real stuff.
Yeah, sugar. Although you will eat a banana, and you will eat rock melon.
And mangoes. Oh, mango, that'd be a good one. Mango and white chocolate muffins. Oh, I have to get some mangoes.
I don't know if I'd like that, actually.
It's not about you, darling.
I know. That's why I make these things, for you. But when you don't have a shop right next to you, you feel like something's sweet, well, you usually got to make it, which I don't mind if I have the time. When I've got the time, I enjoy it. And these funny enough, they do last, even though Andrew eats everything on the first day.
She's lying. I'm very conservative.
Yeah. What's the most amount of donuts you've eaten in one day?
One.
12?
I don't like donuts.
12, was it? 12? A dozen?
Never.
In one day.
Not me.
In one day.
That was just a one-off.
Donuts.
Now this is what I like to do. Sprinkle these ones on top. Because I like a little bit melted, but I like to have the little crunchy bits. I mean, probably if I was doing this for myself, I'd have macadamia nuts.
Nah, we don't need nuts.
Andrew doesn't like nuts, so...
We don't do nuts in this house. Well, we're married to each other, so we do a little bit of nuts. Nummo. Nummy nummy.
Yeah, well, this will be for morning tea in about 30 minutes, I guess.
As Sheldon would say, nummy nummy nummy, you could eat her all up. Or eat him all up. That's what his Mima says.
She calls me moon pie because I'm nummy nummy and she could just eat me up.
If you can't guess, I like Big Bang Theory. Okay, so... Oh yeah, 160 degrees, it's preheating. We're nearly there. How's our power going? Let's have a look. Okay, so we've dropped 1%. We're getting 670 still, and 1507 being used. The dough's not bad either. It's got that banana hint. Like a cake, darling.
That's good.
Who used to fight over the beaters and the bowl when they were younger with their brothers and sisters?
Okay, the oven's ready.
I did.
And who won?
Not me. Well, one would pick and the other one would pick what they want. No, that's not how it goes. I can't remember now. One of us would pick and the other one would pick what size they want or which one they want.
It's a bit hard when you're licking it out of a bowl.
Yep.
How do you pick sizes in that? Alright, that'll take 20 to 25 minutes. Just really depends on the day.
We'll come back to that and I'll finish licking the bowl.
Yeah, there's a thing you can grab right there that I've dropped.
Look at that, white chocolate. Alright, we'll be back soon when it's cooked. Alright, so while we're waiting for the muffins to cook, Carolyn's now going to start on her bread.
Checking my starter. Oh yeah,
So Carolyn made this starter.
he's bubbly.
This is a sourdough starter. How long did it take you to make that?
Originally, it took probably about 7 weeks before it got anywhere where I could actually use it.
And how long have you had it for?
About just over 2 years actually.
And so she's been making all sorts of bread with it. Sourdough bread, normal bread.
No,
No?
you don't make normal bread with a starter. You use commercial yeast. So yes, I do make regular bread as well with commercial yeast.
So you can see how good I am at cooking.
I need 450 grams of bread flour.
As you can see, this flour gets used a lot.
It's a 5 kilo bucket.
5 kilo bucket of flour, which we go through fairly quickly.
Now we don't have bread every day though,
No, we don't.
and we do freeze it once we've had the fresh stuff, so we just got it if we need it. $450 grams. Oh, the potatoes are falling out.
I don't know. The Zito potatoes are gone. I'll have to wait till later. Alright, this is another new little thing that Carolyn got. What's it called?
It's called a brewista. So it's just a kettle, but it's got what they call a gooseneck pourer, and that just means it's more direct so I don't spill everything. Because when you're doing baking, sometimes it's a little bit tricky. So what I'm going to do now is put it on, and I have a set temp of 40 degrees, which is what I want it to get to, so I can put that water into my...
Let's have a look what it's doing with the
Oh, they're both on, aren't they?
They're both on, but as you can see, we're still only at 2382 watts. So we've got something boiling and the oven on, plus the other few things that are running. So we've got a 3000 watt inverter. You can have a look in the bus build if you want. I'll link that to the description down below so you can have a look at our electrical setup. So is that 31, 32?
And I actually don't want it any more than that.
So that goes pretty quick.
Yep. So now we got 300 grams of water, 10 grams of salt. Got to go back and get my salt.
Here we go, doing the dance.
Yeah, normally you're not in here, so it does make it a little bit easier.
We thought we'd do something different for you guys this week, just to give you an idea of what Carolyn gets up to, what she enjoys doing.
When I'm not working.
When she's not working.
Because I don't do this every day. Probably like it if I did, but I don't.
If you'd like to see more of Carolyn cooking, just comment down below and I can start filming a bit more of what she cooks, because she does a lot of cooking. She's a good cook.
Well, I can follow her recipes, so...
Yeah, but you add your stuff to it.
Yeah, sometimes. But see how easy it is to pour and stop? You got to be pretty precise, and I need because it's so cold, I need the water a little bit warm. I don't, like in summer I wouldn't heat the water up. We're at 290, I need 300. Ooh, 298. 300.
So Carolyn's just got that, she only got that this week.
And I've used it that many times already, it's funny.
So it allows you to boil, it allows you to get your water to a temperature that...
Precise temperatures.
And it can keep it there too, can't it?
Yeah, you can have it so it keeps it. I mean, I probably wouldn't do that because I'm always thinking about the power, and it'd take the power to do that. But for what I use it for, it's perfect.
So we'll leave a link in the description below for where she got that as well.
And thanks Kylie for the suggestion. It works perfectly.
Now we're not affiliated with any of this stuff, so it's just what we use. There's Carolyn's sourdough going into the mix. How much do you put of that in?
In this particular one, it's 100 grams, and I've just put in a little bit too much. So luckily, it's easy to take out.
Goes back in for the next lot of starter. Oh, the starter's still there.
For the next dough that I'm going to make.
Yeah. Now I'll link the recipe for this one below as well.
And this is one that I hadn't made before. I'm always doing different people's recipes. Even tried my own once, and that was okay, but it wasn't great. So I prefer to do one that I know that's going to taste really, really good. So this one was a beautiful crust, beautiful and soft. And sourdough isn't traditionally soft. It's often got a really hard crust, and the bread's a bit sort of dense. This one is perfect. We had it last week.
So now that Carolyn's finished with the starter, it's back in the fridge till next goes to use it.
So I try to I do try to use it once a week because I know the starter likes to be fed. You don't have to, and I do go a few weeks at a time without feeding it and just leaving it in there. But if it was probably getting up to a month and I wasn't going to use it, then I'd just give it a feed. Now this sourdough is pretty easy. It takes time, but it's not all hands-on time.
So what will happen with this now?
So once I've mixed it, so all those dry bits on the bottom are in the mixture, and I've got a better little thing that I use. I've had other ones to get me started. This is the one I use to mix it around so all those other bits get in there. But then it gets left for 30 minutes, and then I do basically every 30 minutes it gets a stretch and fold.
How many times do you do that?
4.
So it's a bit of a long process. It doesn't take a lot to make, but it's just the process takes a while to do.
If you're doing regular bread with the commercial yeast, I actually do an artisan one because it's cheap, because it's easy and it tastes delicious. It doesn't really have any kneading in it either, but other traditional breads do. So that's a lot on your arms, especially if you've got some sort of an arthritis type thing, which I do have. So I don't want to be doing too much of that. Alright, so now it just gets left for 30 minutes. It rests.
It rests. It's done a lot of work, so it needs a rest. It's a little head cover on it.
It's like a shower cap.
How are those muffins going? I don't know whether you can see in there. Probably not. But they're rising. They got 13, 14 minutes. Oh, no.
I will turn them
14
around.
minutes. Oh.
So when I turn them around, you can have a look, see how they're going.
Alright, let's have a look at the power, see how it's going. Alright, so we're down to 66. But you can see that with the oven on, it drops up and down depending on whether it needs to heat up a little bit or not. Alright, so that's it for the time being. We'll come back and show you the muffins. Carolyn's just going to move them around in a little bit. Just turn them around and give it the other side. In about...
Hang on, actually I can do that now.
She's going to do it now. Yeah. So we'll get a sneak peek of what these muffins look like as they're cooking.
I'm just going to look to see. Yep. Make sure they're alright to turn.
There we go. Oh, look at that. Oh man, they smell good too. I had to have smell-o-vision. Look at that. Now I'm looking forward to that because I love these muffins. And I shouldn't, but I do. Anyway. Alright, we're going to check it. See what it looks like. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Looking good. But still needs a little bit more in the centre by the looks of it.
That's why I said 25 minutes.
We have a little visitor wanting to get a chocolate muffin. Chocolate banana muffin.
Well, you mean white chocolate?
Yeah, white chocolate. It's a bee. And he's trying to find a way in, but he can't. When I was a kid, my dad used to be a beekeeper, and we had some beehives up the back of the house. And got stung a couple of times, and Dad always got stung. So anyway, there you go. Bit of history about me. Right, so the time has come to get them out.
Well, test it and make sure it's okay.
All right.
We've still got a few minutes. We could cook it for if necessary. This is the one that I poked earlier. Yeah, it's clean.
Oh, there's a big one. That one's mine.
Beautiful.
Oh, yummo.
So
We got to let them sit for a little bit. That's not nice.
it's not long.
How long?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. 5 minutes I've got to wait.
I know that's hard for you.
They look good or what? You should smell them. Yummo. Alright, so we're turning it off. Let's have a look at how much power we used. So we started at 69%. Carolyn's preheated it and cooked it for 25 minutes, and we've used 4%. And so that's pretty good. Okay, this is for our coffee.
I'm doing fast boil. And that will take it up to the 100 degrees, but I actually stop at about 95 because this is an instant caramel latte. And there's the cups. That's what we're using, you know, the packets.
Let's go and look at the power.
And that's got all the other power, so that's not all from that kettle.
The kettle goes to 1,000 watts, and that's usually what it is. The rest of it is what's being used by the bus and the shipping container.
That's the coffee we're having, which when you want to save some power, that's a quick and easy way to have a cuppa. You don't need anything fancy when you're having a muffin. So
At 36, 37. Well, it's going up quick now. It was.
that's pretty good, especially when you only got to do those low temperatures for your baking.
Yeah.
But while we're on coffee, this is our little coffee area. So normally you had cold coffee and a frother, but you do that every day, usually twice a day, but that does take more power than this.
That was Carolyn's suggestion when we did our bus build. It was just going to be drawers, but we changed it around because it was a good idea. We can put stuff under the bench.
And it doesn't clutter up here. There's enough clutter here, as you can see.
Being that we live in a small area, you've got to try and keep things to a minimum. And of course I'm super clean.
I heard a B-roll. That was I-roll.
I'm the clean one in the house.
How many times can you say that without combusting, the lying, or your nose growing?
Where are we at? 66%.
Yep.
66 degrees.
And the water starts off really cold because it's in our tanks and at 0 degrees or minus that it's been the last few days.
And it's been pretty cool, so the water's been pretty cold. We even had our... I'll show you this, I'll go out and show you this, but our diesel heater, which I haven't put up the build of it yet, which I will, but the filter, oh, sorry, not the filter, the pump, the diesel pump, it got so cold that it must have gelled all the diesel inside and it didn't work. One day I had to get the heater gun out onto it to warm it up, and then it worked. Right, where are we at? 84, nearly there.
Probably 90, what do I say, 93, 95, 97, depending. At night I'll probably do it to 97. But they recommend for instant coffee 93 or the pour over coffees. So I'm going to stop it now at 94.
Carolyn's just doing hers. So instant coffee, they're not too bad actually. They're pretty good.
Yeah, you wouldn't drink it every time, but it's nice. One a day, it saves your power and it will get you by for a coffee fix.
Okay, hurry up, let's get to these.
Yep.
Look at that. We've got to get these out. She's taking the time getting these muffins out. Hurry up. I want my muffin. Here we go, we're getting ready to get them out. Go with our coffees.
And they're usually pretty easy to take out, but when they explode a little bit, can stop now.
Look at that. Is that a good muffin or what? Time to take one. Oh, yum. We'll go and sit outside and have our coffee and muffin. Alright, here we go. Looks good. White chocolate hard on top. Oh, that muffin, banana in it is beautiful. The white chocolate, very moist and very pillowy. Very nice. Good job, darling.
You're welcome. Now's the time to do the stretch and fold. So I'm just getting some water, and it's still a bit warm from before, which is all I need. And that's what the dough looks like. But yeah, after we do a few stretch and folds.
You got to do this 4 times, don't you?
Yeah, so you go around the bowl a couple of times, basically until it stops this stretching part. See how it stretches and then it doesn't stretch much anymore?
Yeah.
And then you can see how it's not as yucky as it was. It's not perfect, but that's how it should look after the first stretch and fold, and that's it. Leave it for another 30 minutes, come back and do it again. Okay, so this is after the bulk ferment. It had to sit for 30 minutes. And then I've got to final shape it. And then it'll go, I have to use rice flour. It doesn't really matter, but use rice flour in the Benetton. And now I'm going to shape him. This is how I do it. I don't care how everybody has their own way, I guess. I really just want to get a bit of tension in it.
What does the tension do?
It helps it have a better loaf, a tighter loaf. Don't ask me too much. I forget. I just know what it has to actually do. And then we turn it upside down and put it in here. Give it a bit of a stitch.
Oh, stitching it up, doing a bit of sewing.
Best way to sew. No needle to hurt yourself. And then I don't know if this one says you want powder on top. Flour.
And then
Your cookies too.
And then?
No, that's it.
And then?
That's all I want.
And then?
Okay, where's my, here it is. Just a little bit. And gets the shower cap on, goes in the fridge.
yeah,
And if you look at that level, when we see it tomorrow, it'll probably be up here somewhere. And I'll take it out to cook it.
right, so in the fridge it goes. Afternoon, guys. Well, it's the next day from after Carolyn made the muffins, and she's now going to finish off her bread loaf. So she's just got the oven warming up or preheating, and then we're going to jump in and show you what she does for the dough. So what are you doing?
Okay, so I'm just waiting for the oven to heat up. It's currently 210, and I'm going to get the dough out of the fridge and put it on here ready to go into the oven. so it rose a little bit more.
So if you can remember yesterday when we looked at it, it wasn't even over the top of the side. Now it's up. Take off the shower cap. Hey, look at that.
I'm just going to dust off the... And I'm going to try something that they reckon is a good thing to do, and that's not to score it until it's been in the oven 5 minutes. So I'm going to put it in like this and then take it out and score it. So we'll see. But I don't like it.
I reckon I'll give it a 5 out of 10.
The score? That's pretty bad. The score, 5 out of 10. Well, you won't get any tea then.
How rude.
Alright, just waiting for the oven. We're on 220.
220, we've got to get 230.
I'm going to put the ice in.
Okay, so there's ice that goes in. What does the ice do?
Create steam.
Steam.
We need steam.
You create steam, darling.
To
You're
rise.
hot.
Yeah, I am hot. It's hot today, considering it's winter. Alright, well, just waiting.
Just waiting.
Waiting.
Alright, so we're now at 230.
So we move quick. The ice in, hear the sizzle, that's what we want. And this is a bit tricky. That worked last week. Shove that in a little bit. I put down for 45 because I just don't know how much I'm going to need. You can take, if you've got a Dutch oven, it's usually 20 minutes and take the lid off and then another 15, but this is an open bake without a Dutch oven, so it's a little bit different and usually a bit longer.
Alright, so Carolyn's going to open it. It's been nearly 5 minutes, so she can score it.
3, 2, 1, blast off!
Oh, look how much it's risen.
Ooh, okay, I'm going for this kind of score because otherwise it's just too hard. And actually that's not too bad. And I'm going to put a bit more water in there, that's for steaming. And hopefully they'll keep going. Alright. I don't know how it's...
So that's it for about 35 minutes, 40 minutes now. So we'll come back then. Okay, so Carolyn just pulled it out of the oven. Look at that. Is that good or what? So now how long do we have to wait before we can eat it?
At least an hour.
An hour?
Yes.
How rude. There you go. So that's it for this week's video. It's a bit of a longer one, something different. We hope you like the cooking side of it. Carolyn loves to cook and she's a really good cook. So if you want more, just put down in the comments, yes, you'd like to see some more of Carolyn's cooking. And other than that, guys, we hope you're having a great week. We look forward to bringing you more videos. I'm also thinking about doing a buy me a coffee page. We don't want to ask for money and we don't expect people to give us their hard-earned money. But look, if you're liking our videos and you do want to support us, there will be a link down in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. Now, anything that comes in via the Buy Me a Coffee will go towards buying equipment. Like, I need some woodworking equipment and other things for the property. So if you want to help, by all means do. If you don't, that's fine. No problem at all. We don't mind at all. We're not asking for money. We just thought if somebody wanted to support us, they could do it that way. Alright guys, for now, have a great week and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.